Members, before we get to our board member reports, I'd like to ask each of the board members to, over the next month or so, to take a look at the various committees that we have. We've had several changes on the board. We'll have some more, but our committee roster is thinning out a little bit, and I would ask each board member to take a look at the committees, what you might be interested in. Send me an email or in Jerry an email to that effect, and she will get it to me. I actually would like to make appointments to the committees at our March meeting. Some of the more immediate ones, I know Vice Chancellor Quinn-Livin, the EdPAC committee, I used to be on it. I know they meet several times a year, or at least 4 times a year. Very important committee for us, and we need participation from the board on that. So take a look at those committees, let me know, and your preferences, and I will make the appointments in March. Item number 2, I intend to bring before the board in March the nomination of Lance Azumi for our foundation board. He has gracefully accepted our at least my invitation. So we will agendize for that March. That is something that does need to be confirmed by the board. So we will bring that nomination forward. I think all of you know Lance has extensive experience in the foundation world, in addition to his other many talents that we see all the time. So I will be bringing that forward as well. With that, before the board member reports, Chancellor Scott would like to say something.
One is that I wanted to mention to you that Benita Haley's term on this board is expiring. I had conversation with her. As most of you know, her husband's health is extremely bad. In fact, I think he's in hospice care at the time. And so she said she wouldn't be able to come to the meeting. And of course, she enjoyed very much her service on the board. She said that she didn't want to make a great event of her leaving. And so we will honor her wishes in that regard, but we do appreciate her work. I guess I want to close with a couple of compliments. One is, I want to compliment the wonderful staff of vice chancellors that work here. I sometimes tell them that they're the puppeteers and I'm the puppet. In that regard, they furnish the materials. They give a lot of advice and information to me, and I just end up being the spokesperson. So a lot of times it's not clear about all that they've done, but I just couldn't have a better staff of vice chancellors than I have now. All of them are present with the exception of Vice Chancellor Russell. He has now been added as the representative of the Chancellor's Office to the Accrediting Commission, and Steve Bruckman served very well on that Accrediting Commission for quite a number of years. Was it 6 years or 3 years? 6 years. So his term was up, and Mary agreed to do that, and so they began their meeting today, so he couldn't be here. And in this last year, there have been 3 new vice chancellors, and I'll tell you, in all cases, that we didn't miss a beat. They just stepped right up. Dan Troy, Vice Chancellor of Fiscal Policy, Von Ton Quinn-Livin, who took Jose Millon's place, and then Paul Feast, who became our director, our Vice Chancellor of Communications. So anyway, it's a real joy to work with them. And then I just want to compliment this Board of Governors. We had a kind of an unusual meeting yesterday, to say the least. Frankly, I don't think that behavior on the part of some people, I thought it was rude, and counterproductive. I don't think it helped a lot to do that, but our board was really cool. They just handled that with a lot of aplomb. Scott Himmelstein, I really compliment him because he was trying to get through that meeting with interruptions and all sorts of things and did it extremely well. And so I've had a lot of experience in chairing meetings. As in the legislature, I served and chaired quite a number of committees. I chaired the Education Committee, as you recall. And I had a few difficult moments, but I don't recall one quite that raucous. So all I can say is that I thought you did it very, very well yesterday. You kept your eye on the ball, and thank you for your support. So with that, I'll close out, but I just want to tell you what a joy it is to work with this Board of Governors. They are people that have a lot of excellent insights, and also really we're proud. I tell people behind your backs, I might say, and they ask me candidly, well, what's that board like to work with? I said, well, they're really an excellent board to work with. They're very supportive. They have good insights. So I'm really not telling you something to flatter you. I'm telling you something I say behind your back. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay. Thank you. Chancellor, I'll speak on behalf of our members, too, that we very much appreciate the work of the Vice Chancellors, particularly, on the Student Success Task Force and bringing everything forward, ably done, well done. So we thank you for that. I also, in closing before our reports, I again want to thank Peter McDougall and Manuel Baca for their service over the year. As I said before, an enormous amount of time that they volunteered in their busy lives, and I'm so pleased with the result. So thank you guys. So with that, let's go to board member reports. Member Izumi.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like to just say that, assuming that I do serve on the foundation board, that it'll be very big shoes to fill with Henry Ramos's tenure on there. I know that he and Member Reed have done a terrific job representing this board, and so I'll have a lot to shoot for. So appreciate that. I had just a couple things that I'd mentioned that I've done since the last board meeting in November. I moderated a panel on the military and secondary and post-secondary education at Sacramento City College, which drew a capacity crowd of high school counselors and counselors from mostly the community colleges. Also, too, in December, Barbara Davis Lyman and myself participated in a U.S. Army Award event. And following up on what the Chancellor mentioned about Benita Haley, I'd also like to point out that Barbara Davis Lyman, our longtime faculty representative, is no longer on the board, and that she was just a joy to serve with. Yeah. And I personally am going to miss her, as I know most of all of us are going to miss her as well. So for those departing members, it's it's sad, but I'm so glad to see all our new members and welcome them to the board.
Member Hawkins.
Thank you, Scott. I actually was really privileged to be able to attend the Veterans Summit, the first annual. That was a highlight of my December before the holidays. Was very impressed with that program. I believe it was a historical event. I hope and pray that it continues and that it's not the only one we'll have. But I really thank you, Scott, for allowing me to attend. It was a very worthwhile summit. Also, I would like to remind the folks that the classified of the Employee of the Year awards are due on March 15th. The forms are on the Chancellor's Office website, and to encourage those at your districts and throughout the system to have the boards of trustees send in candidates or nominations. Thank you.
Very good. Member Storm.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since the last board meeting, I attended 2 of the SSCCC, or the Student Senate meetings, and worked extensively with the student population to make sure that their voices were heard, and that there was dialogue about the student task force recommendations so they could be brought here and expressed. Thank you.
Member Baca?
Yeah, I just have a couple of quick things. One is, first of all, I want to thank this board and President Himmelstein for allowing me to participate in the Student Success Task Force. It was an excellent experience, and I'm very excited about what that presents for us in the near future. The other thing is the Vet Summit.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Vice Chancellor Makalowski and Jeff Spano and Mike McGee and their work. Also, Jonathan Lightman, back, Dennis Birch, Sylvia, Keitha, and Carrie for their work with the Veterans Summit as well. And you know, J.P. Morgan Chase, I suspect is going to be very supportive of us. I want to thank Member Ramos and the Chancellor for their work with the relationship with that organization that we'll hopefully have a continued relationship with. The summit itself, I've attended numerous veteran summits over the years. This one was right on target because it had a veterans population there. It had an excellent keynote speaker, had a corporate sponsor. We had Congressman Fellner there who learned of 2 or 3 things that needed to be adjusted on the Veterans GI Bill. And I think it's something that it just will propel us into the future as we begin to work more in a more focused way on the Veterans Program, and it's not the last one. So with that, I'll just leave that.
Well, I will then rely on your colleague, Member Hawkins, and you to keep bringing that before us. Member Yang.
I too attended the Veterans Summit, and it was my first Veterans Summit, and I was very impressed by the programs that's offered to our veterans that return, give them opportunities to either return to school or return to the workforce. So very impressed, and definitely looking forward to seeing more of them. And I as well attended 2 of the Student Senate Council meetings, make sure that the students' voices are heard, their concerns, and understanding of the recommendations.
Good, very good. Member McDougall.
No report.
Member Ramos.
Also no report.
Member Berg.
I just want to say that this has been a really informative meeting, very enlightening, and I commend all of you who were in charge yesterday at the meeting and holding yourselves very calm, cool, and collected, and it was an excellent meeting. And most of all, I am really honored to be serving this board. Thank you.
Member Mayamed.
I was going to talk about the Veterans Summit too. I thought it was excellent. I personally learned a lot, and I think it's something we can be very proud of, and hopefully more in the future. The only other thing that I've done is I have been a little bit on a campaign trail with my husband, and the area that we're learning about and going to more is North Orange County. And as I go to some of the different events, I do get a chance to talk to the trustees of our community colleges and some of our teachers there. So it's been very nice for me to meet these people and talk to them. So I am out there unofficially, informally meeting people.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. Any, let's see, I don't believe we have any other new business, and there are, and Jerry.
Real quick announcement. We're going to have a orientation for new board members immediately after this meeting.
Okay.
So if board members want to just grab some lunch, we'll take a few minutes for lunch, and then we'll gather in the conference room just inside the chancellor's office on the 4th floor.
Okay. And Jerry, lunch is ready upstairs? Yes.
How long is the orientation?
Okay. Very good. Seeing no further business or comments, the meeting is adjourned.